everyone. I am John Ryan of Sportsmemo.com, and welcome to the NBA Triple Double Show for Wednesday, the 18th of May, 2022. We're coming off a rather extraordinary Game 1 in the Eastern Conference. I think tonight's going to be even more exciting. A lot more lead changes, I think. But Spoelstra. Spoelstra is the best coach by far in the playoffs of the remaining four teams. And then once again, he showed it at halftime. Ronald, you already know this too. The Heat during the regular season where they had the highest scoring differential in the third quarter. And look what happened last night. A 21-2 run. And then they closed the quarter on an 11-0 run. Yep. So I had a premium bet on the Boston Celtics. So I was thinking like, hey, it's looking pretty good there at halftime. And I know you were on the Heat, which was a great call.
Yeah.
One of the few times we've ever gone head to head with our premium picks that are for our clients. You know, they're not the show picks. But nevertheless, we move on to today, and we have the Golden State Warriors hosting the Dallas Mavericks. So Luka Doncic versus Steph Curry situation once again. The line here is 5.5 over under 214.5 as I'm looking at it. The Warriors are 6-0 straight up in home games, 4-2 against the number. I'll turn it over to you, Ronald, because I have a lean on this. I'm just kind of curious to see if I'm on the same side as you. So take it away and tell us what you think.
Yeah, for me in this game one here, like I mentioned yesterday in the playoffs, I like to go game by game. In this game one of this specific series, I'm going with the Warriors here. I like the Warriors to cover the spread. Full game. We mentioned yesterday about rest coming into game one of a series, and the Warriors have that advantage here. Whether or not the Mavs stay close in the first quarter like the Celtics did yesterday, I think eventually the fatigue is going to start to set in towards the end of the game. For me, I feel like the Warriors are the deeper team as well. They can give some minutes to the bench and really trust those guys to perform at a level to keep the game either in range or even take the lead in certain spots. For me, there's a few trends here that I like that support the Warriors. From a team trend perspective, they've done well as home favorites in conference games throughout the regular season, and it has transitioned over into the playoffs as well. They're 24-6 in the straight up in this situation, including the playoffs, but only 15-13 against the spread. But if you add that they're playing against playoff caliber teams with a winning record, they're now 13-2 straight up, 10-4-1 against the spread. Another thing, backing the Warriors here in this spot, like I mentioned, is coming off extra rest going into game one of the series. When that happens, the home team with extra rest is very, very profitable. I believe it's 33-16 straight up, and 27 and something. I totally forgot exactly what the trend was, but very profitable from the spread perspective as well. So to me, I'm leaning towards the Warriors here. I'm likely going to put some money on that, and that's probably might be. I would just say that's going to be a premium play. I'm giving that one out for free today.
That's awesome, and I'm in cahoots with you. I like the Warriors too, and I think the Doncic situation. The Doncic experience, I guess, is what a Dallas Mavericks fan would call it. I think that's going to kind of come to a slow down a little bit today or tonight. I just can't see him lighting them up on top of everything else he's done, and he's among the elite right now. There's like 3 or 4 guys that have done what he is doing currently in the playoffs, and you gotta give it to him. I mean, it's phenomenal what he's doing. But I just think this Warriors team is seasoned. They've been around and they've won quite a few. It wasn't too long ago. The We Believe series was 15 years ago now, and that was when Dallas was the number 1 seed in the Western Conference, and guess who was number 8? The Warriors. And the Warriors won 6 games, 4-2, and they actually had 25 fewer regular season wins than the Dallas Mavericks. Now that's 15 years ago. None of these players were. Well, I guess I'd have to look that up actually to make sure that nobody was. But the majority of the stars weren't playing. They probably weren't even in college yet. But 2011 was the last time they played each other in a playoff game. But this last game with the Warriors clinching and then having this 4 days of rest, which you mentioned, is very, very important for a home team, especially like the Warriors. They've been there. They've been in this
Hmm.
situation. They know the routine. They know what to expect when they get to the stadium, when they take their shoot around. It becomes routine. It reminds me of when the teams go to a Super Bowl. The team that's there for the first time, no matter who the coach is, it's deer in the headlights, type of situation. And I think Dallas might be prone to that, at least in game one. But I'm with you on this one. And let's see, I have a few things here. Betting on. Oh, here's one to consider. I'm not going to do this, but this has to tie in with yesterday's game where uh, Boston had the lead at the half, and
Hmm.
then you bet the favorite. We talked about that in the previous two rounds. And I have a feeling this is not based on the models because the models really can't do this. And that's why we have sports handicappers and professional bettors because the models don't tell you everything. I mean, it doesn't tell you when to go to sleep or go to the bathroom or anything like that. It does give you a pretty good guide, though, on where you're supposed to go with your money. But I think this game tonight actually has potential with Dallas coming out of the gates, just all revved up with energy. Doncic is obviously going to be smiling and taking in the moment. And I could see them actually leading at the half,
Hmm.
just like last night. But then if that happens, I can promise you I will be on Golden State pretty big for the second half rally. There's
Hmm.
a 66 and 37 and 1 against the spread record for 64% winning bets using the first half betting line on road teams spanning the last 25 seasons. You're going to bet on a road team using the first half line. There's a team that's making 33 to 36.5% of their shots in the season from beyond the arc. They're coming off two consecutive games, making 16 or more three-point shots in each of one of those games, and now face a defense that's allowing 33 to 36.5% shooting from beyond the arc. That all adds up to a first half play on Dallas, which I'm not going to do. I'm sharing that with everybody. You can do what you want with it. You can bet Dallas based on that. That's great. If you don't like it, hey, that's what we're here for. We're giving you some interesting angles and trends and betting systems to use. Maybe not just for this game, but if you track that, it's going to come up again, and maybe you'll like that game better. So I'm with you, Ronald. I really don't have much more to add to it. I do like the prop bets with Klay Thompson over 3.5 3-pointers -110, over Steph Curry 3.5 3-pointers +105 at DraftKings. I think that is just an absolute. I mean, he might have four in the first half. I mean, 3.5 just seems really cheap. And maybe I'm missing something. Maybe the chat room can tell me what I'm missing. That'd be great. That would save
Hmm.
some money. And then Brunson over 3.5 assists. I think he's going to be a facilitator more so tonight than any other game based on the matchup. But over 3.5 assists +135 at BetMGM, I can't refuse that one either. Do
Hmm.
you like those, Ronald, or any of the ones you don't like of those three?
No, they look pretty solid to me. I think well, one thing that I was looking at, like I think I mentioned it a couple of days ago, or was it? It may have been yesterday. There's so much going on. I don't remember my days anymore. But I do like Brunson in this series. As far as like points and PRA, off of that first series against Utah, he played really really well, and his numbers went down for his PRAs and his points for the Sun series, and it's probably because of the matchup, in my opinion, because of how Chris Paul plays, solid defense compared to Conley, and now you come back to another point guard who obviously people are saying that he's become a better two-way player in Curry, but to me, I think Brunson is a lot more physical um, than what Curry is used to, right? I think Curry is quick enough to stay in front of other quick point guards, but when it comes to someone physical like Brunson, it takes a different type of defense to play against those types of guys. So I think Brunson is gonna get more touches obviously because they're going to focus in on trying to stop Luca. And with that opportunity, Brunson's going to have the ball in his hands more often. He's probably going to have more opportunities to score and facilitate. Like you mentioned, the three and a half assists is probably a solid look as well. But I do like his points and PRA in this series.
That's where the idea came from. I give you credit for me putting that prop bet on the show and for me going to the window. So I'll split a pizza with you if it wins.
Yeah, you could
Yeah,
you could send one my way. You could just Uber Eats it or something.
that's true. I could, even though you're 3,000 miles away from me. But that, yeah, we're right next to each other right now, thanks to technology. But
Yes, sir.
you mentioned rest, and I have a little system here that supports Golden State, and this will underscore our best bet on Golden State. You're going to play on home teams playing with 3 or more days of rest in a game involving 2 elite teams winning between 60 and 75% of their games in the regular and playoff seasons. 62% winners over 25 seasons, folks. 20-9 the last 5 seasons. That translates to 69% winners and only 3 losing seasons among the 25. So if there was something you were going to do and only do, this simple to use betting system has stood the test of time. And I think it's going to stand the test of time for the foreseeable future because it just is so logical that it makes sense. 3 days or more rest and 2 elite teams going head to head. It just makes sense. So I also like the part about the 60 to 75%. And the reason why is because it gets rid of the first 4, 5, 7 games of the season where a team that was 500 last year and is going to be 500 this year gets out of the gate fast and it looks like they're going to be a playoff contender. At the end of the season, they're 2 games under 500, but they got out to that big start. So an 8-2 start for a team would not qualify under this system. So it essentially builds more and more bets the second half of the season and then the playoffs. So that's another reason why I like this little guy. And this one is 3-1 this season alone. So that's pretty good stuff there, in my opinion. Anything else to add, Ronald, before I let you go?
Uh, I mean, not at the moment. For this, not for this series specifically. I think. I'm pretty excited about this series specifically. I like the matchup here. I think there's gonna be a lot of opportunities to make some money.
Yeah, I do too. And then, you gave away your 4-unit play, I guess that is what it is on Golden State here on the show, and I have
Three. It was a three unit. Yeah,
3-unit
unit
play.
play on that. Yep. Yep.
Well, I'll reciprocate, and we're both gonna go for it here on the show, and we'll let it hang out there. Golden State is a 4%er on Sportsmemo. I have it loaded up, but I also have a 4% total, and I'm not gonna tell you what that one is. But Golden State is a 4% premium client play.
Yeah.
So I
Love
think
it.
we are on to something. And guys, one last thing with in-game betting. Golden State right now is 5.5 point favorite. Consider betting 50% of your normal betting amount on Golden State minus those points, and then look to get Golden State at pick'em during the first half. The volatility of the game is probably going to give you a very good chance, I would say 80% chance of getting Golden State at pick'em. There's also a 20% chance that Golden State gets out of the gate fast, and you never have a chance to get anything better than 5.5. That's always a chance too. So just food for thought. You guys have any questions? Just put them up there in the comments section underneath the show here. We'll do our best to get back to them. So that'll conclude Wednesday's NBA Triple Double show. We look forward to seeing you again tomorrow. Ronald, thank you for your time. Get over to sportsmemo.com and get on a subscription now. Okay? Understood. And always remember, bet with your head, not over it. And may all the wins be yours. We'll see you tomorrow.